Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, and welcome back to another episode of The Ways We Move, the podcast that talks about innovative mobility solutions and the people behind them. My name is Nicholas Zart, and I will be your host again on this special podcast today because we went out to Augusta, Georgia to be part again of the AGS Xchange Forum 2026. And this is Augusta's airport's foray into advanced air mobility, AAM, flying cars, air taxis of sorts, but it's also their seventh year. So this event is one of my favorite events. It's a one-day event, and we get to hear from top-notch OEM manufacturers, those who make those flying cars and air taxis, but we also get to hear from the military, we get to hear from the fire department, we get to hear from EMS, we get to hear from a lot of other layers that are part of this incredibly complex topic of advanced air mobility. I have to say a special thank you to Diane Johnston and Gregory Larson, who have been so amazing and helped us throughout this whole podcast. And sadly, I have to say I'm sorry, but one of my microphones decided to go on strike right at the very last check before we got into the room. So I'm sorry, some of the sound is not the greatest, but I hope the transcriptions will be good enough for you to see what they were saying. We heard a lot. We heard from SkyDrive. We were heard from companies I was not as well informed about, and Georgia Power was there. They showed their Swiss drone, fantastic Swiss drone, which is sort of a miniature of a K-MAX helicopter, if you know what that is. We caught up with some people we had met last year at Rune Aero. Of course, we caught up with one of my favorite people in the industry, Professor Smith. Marilyn has been on the podcast before, and she will come back. But before I continue with this podcast, I want to let you know that a lot of these people will be on a future podcast. We'll have a one-on-one where the quality of sound will be much better. But in the meantime, please like and subscribe. You don't know how much this helps us. And if you haven't been to our Patreon website where you can get all of these podcasts 48 hours in advance, plus deep dives, and all of last year's library will be there for you to see. We will also have a lot more business intelligence that we're developing there. So please go check us out. Go to patreon.com and look for The Ways We Move. And without further ado, I hope you'll enjoy this, and we'll see you very soon again. The smaller
Okay, Aero. This can share Southwest Petroleum Program.
Perfect. Tell us about what you're doing here today.
This is a demonstration of what we have on the drones program. We have big jam, M30C here for clear purposes. This is our mobile box here, so we'll route on missions, search services, everything perform the operation.
So tell us a little bit about what is the make of that drone, because if I remember well, you're not allowed to have certain types of drones, right?
That's right. Well, that's coming down the pipe. We can still use those that are still in service today. We have no problem with using those, and they'll stay in service until we have to move on from that.
Okay, that's good. That's really great. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
How are you enjoying the event today?
I enjoy it, and making good contacts with all the vendors here, so having a great time.
Excellent. Thank you very much. I appreciate your help.
Morning, everyone. My name is Omar Maldonado. I am the UAS support specialist here for SISO Air. So we are here, the Innovation Exchange. So we have a couple of drones here. So we do support, training, and so. So this is the Inspired Flight IF 800. It's an American-made photogrammetry payload, like the Centura 65R. For photogrammetry, we can use as well something for LiDAR, like this one from the British LiDAR system. This is the Recon XT, where basically we use it for LiDAR to get the data to the information for reconstruction survey. We have the SkyDrive X10. This payload is specifically the 300C, where you can see has an arrow camera for search and rescue, inspection, thermal cameras as well. It's fully autonomously. Both of them, they are made in America, made in USA, both of them. Portable, a little bit more complex. You can really say here's like the data that you can get from that payload model. LiDAR, this is more for like inspections, 3D modeling. The drone, like the point about the flight. We have here.
You have an excellent drone here. This is one of the
big array. This one we have different payloads, LiDAR, multispectral, and mapping camera for that. You can fly 1,300 acres in 1 hour, correct? So if you want something faster than that, buy a jet.
yeah, absolutely. I'm
I'm Joseph Johnston. I'm gonna from SISO Air. He's our sports specialist manager, and we have Stephen Val. He's a representative from Mitra, so and we're out today.
Perfect. He's gonna talk right after. Awesome. Thanks so much.
Having a lot of fun here today.
Yeah. How do you like the event?
Oh, I love it. We have different industry, law enforcement, airport management, students. It's a great event.
Fantastic. Thank you very much for being here.
Joseph Johnson of SISO Air. I'm the UAS support and training manager over here. SISO Air is a geospatial technologies dealer, and we have a drone division where we offer several different OEMs. So basically everything we offer is NDA-compliant, or it's on the Blue UAS list. On top of selling these drones, we offer software, on-site training, and consultation. And we'd love to talk to you. So if you're ever interested and you think that a drone could work in with your company in some way or fashion, reach out to us. We're happy to jump online or come meet you in person and figure out how we can support you.
Awesome. And then we certainly look forward to having you on the podcast. Tell us a little bit about this, because this is one of the most elegant drone I've ever seen in my entire life. It only has 2 propellers. Basically, it's a flying wing.
Absolutely. That's exactly right. It's, it's a fixed wing, but it's got a cool trick up its sleeve. So it takes off and lands in the position that you see. So it's a tail-sitting vertical takeoff and landing drone. Because it's that fixed wing, when it's in cruise mode, it has exceptional performance and endurance. Depending on which payload you have installed, you can cover up to 1,300 acres in a single battery. It has approximately 59-minute flight time. Good conditions, of course. And multiple payloads that you can install it. You can do RGB today, LiDAR tomorrow, and multispectral the day after that. A high accuracy 3D mapping if you're using a oblique payload. So yeah, it's and also one key feature of this drone is it also has a parachute now. So it brings it into that class 3 realm that a lot of people are looking at. So that means operation over people in most environments without the need of a waiver.
Will we have a demonstration of how it flies today, or?
Unfortunately, no.
No,
Yeah,
but
so,
I look forward to showing this because it's such an elegant aircraft. The design is elegant.
yeah, it is
and
definitely one of our favorites, and it's
Yeah.
always a crowd pleaser.
Fantastic. Thank you. I appreciate it. And we'll talk to you soon again.
Thank you. Our pleasure.
Oh, and by the way, what do you think of today's event?
I love it. We've been invited to Aviation Xchange for many, many years now,
Yes.
and it's definitely one of our favorite events of the year.
It is ours too, that's for sure. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
And Expo 2025 in Osaka with hundreds of flights and over 1.4 million visitors. Congratulations. That's what I accomplished. And more recently, SkyDrive performed demonstration flights in Tokyo just last month. For those in the audience who haven't seen it, and we could cue up your presentation as well, describe the SkyDrive aircraft, its configuration, its capacity, and what makes it unique to the eVTOL market.
Sure. So if you want to cue up just the video, thank you very much for your time this morning. So I am Rune Aero with SkyDrive. I've been in the eVTOL industry now for just about 5 years. And one thing that we as an industry are introducing is obviously new aircraft into the skies. SkyDrive's approach has been to try to simplify that. So we don't have any tilting mechanisms for the rotors nor the wings. We have fixed pitch rotors, which are 12 fixed pitch rotors for one pilot on board plus 2 passengers. And so the idea here is to address the urban emissions caused from increasing population and pollution in urban settings. And if you want to cue up that video now, over the last year, what we've been doing is starting the public demonstrations. Now, I will say that with SkyDrive, a lot of that has been focused in Japan. And we have been doing that purposely because of the tremendous support we have from the Japanese government, as well as the strong ecosystem in Japan. Now, what SkyDrive is doing for 2026 is trying to move that publicity outside, external, into some of the target markets, and the US being one of those target markets that we've heavily prioritized. You can see the evolution of the SDO5 over the years, getting to that flight in Osaka last year. And then we did hear earlier, 1.4 million did witness our flight in Japan. Now, one thing that's interesting there is that outside Japan, Joby flew at the World Expo as well in 2025. The whole world knew that Joby flew for just about a week. But SkyDrive did perform our demonstration for over a month, and obviously had a lot more support during that World Expo event. That just kind of, I use that as an example just to show that the SkyDrive's approach has been very, very focused on publicity within Japan and trying to spread that outside. But now we're at the point of evolution in our aircraft and evolution in our company that we can actually bring that outside. One of the reasons why we're here, one of the reasons why we continue to look at Georgia and Augusta airports, thank you for your tremendous support over the years as well, is because of the opportunities that we see here. With our limited range, with our payload, we focus on some of those missions that are really within the 30-mile radius, and that really focuses then on island hopping, focuses on tourism, sightseeing, emergency medical services, trying to get equipment, blood, doctors from clinic to hospital and hospital to clinic, etc., around a hospital network. And with those focuses, we believe that that's where we're going to support the industry for AAM, and completely agree that SkyDrive is one part of that industry, and then connecting to complementary services with some winged aircraft as well, getting longer ranges. But from an urban setting, the compact design of SkyDrive, the maximum takeoff weight of a SkyDrive aircraft does allow us to do things that some of the other larger aircraft cannot do. It allows us to do precision landing in narrow focus areas, which some of the other aircraft won't be able to do. So we do see us as a complementary aircraft to the broader AAM ecosystem.
This is one of my colleagues, Kelly Grinlin, runs all of our summer camps. I'll give you a little bit about it. I am kind of, if you will, a bit of an angel in terms of helping get funding for some of this. But I am, you'll hear more about me later, but I am in charge of the vertical lift research at Georgia Tech. And so I am very much involved in this. I really want to focus on bringing these opportunities to folks in the Southeast, Georgia, and I'm from South Carolina, just over the river, about 3 miles that way. That's where I grew up. So very passionate about bringing this to us. And Eric?
Yeah, so I'm Eric. I'm actually Dr. Grindling. I'm her grad student currently. I do work with the Georgia Space Grant, which is NASA funded. I've done this STEP program 2 years in a row, once in Albany, and then there's another one in Atlanta. And I've been a part of like all of them for the past few years. I ran the one by myself in Albany last year, so I went down to Albany for 2 weeks, ran that, talked to the College and Career Academy we were partnered with there for the camp. So I have a lot of experience with this camp and then just STEM in general.
So what is STEM? That's our acronym. It's a 2-week summer experience to get an immersion in some type of vehicle. The Georgia Space Grant from NASA, funded by NASA, started. So a lot of it was in Atlanta. So the focus was in Atlanta. They do a lot of space exploration things. Then I got a NASA University Leadership Initiative. Those require some outreach. My outreach is, hey, let's talk to the rural Southeast students, especially those who are perhaps first gen, don't have the kind of role models that we have. If you look at the census, the workforce that we're going to have in 2050 is from the rural South and the rural Midwest. It makes sense.
It was 12 miles between downtown Jakarta and our apartment in downtown Jakarta and the airport, Soekarno-Hatta. That commute, which I was doing 3 to 4 times a week, because I was covering the commercial aviation or commercial airline, would take up to 5.5 hours for 12 miles. And that was 5.5 was, be honest, that was my record. It's a terrible record to keep, by the way. But during that time, you could hear 2 helicopters flying over. So of course I Googled those really quickly and find out that those are very expensive. And then start looking at, okay, there must be another way to do this, and started interestingly looking at electric aviation. At that point in time, there was a couple of companies in it. There wasn't a lot regulatory wise, but you just couldn't find a lot on electric aviation for urban markets. But as you consider the urbanization challenges that we continue to see, and 70%, 75% of the world's population will live in urban settings by the year 2050, you start thinking that you need to do something to start complementing existing transportation methods. And being part of why I'm focused and why SkyDrive is looking at the urban missions. Now, the increase in urbanization is one piece of that, but also the pollution that comes with it, whether that be ground pollution, whether that be emissions, whether that be noise pollution. The pollution can certainly get addressed from these aircraft as well. And so with that 5 years ago is why I made the change from commercial aviation over to this exciting new world of advanced air mobility. SkyDrive headquarters, so you've heard me say this a couple of times. We are Japanese, based in Tokyo, Nagoya, at the airfield there. It's very much startup feel when you get to the offices. It's completely open seating. Everyone sea-level sitting with everybody else as well. So it's very much a strong, positive feel from a startup, and been focused on the STO5 development. Like I mentioned earlier, and we'll see later, we did start the demonstration flights in Japan last year, World Expo, and Tokyo just last week. This STO5 has a couple important pieces to keep in mind. We are piloted, like I mentioned earlier. Future plans do include autonomy, but as long as regulations do support, right now we're looking at piloted with 2 passengers plus luggage, and that is for a fixed pitch, simple design. And when I say simple, again, I mean no mechanical parts, no mechanical parts moving from vertical lift to forward flight, and from the pitch of the aircraft moving that makes the certification a bit more straightforward when you're looking at the simplicity of that design. And so we do have an angled rotor plane for maneuverability, for limitation and downwash. That does provide for an extra layer of safety as well, allowing for that precision landing. And in some of those narrow corridors. The diameter of the aircraft is about 11.5 meters, and that is designed in order to land on general international standards for heliports. And so with that, we'll be able to land on theoretically any heliport or vertiport that does have the TLAW. Mentioned earlier, onboard charging, and we did mention earlier that we're going through certification for JCAB and FAA. And I'll talk about the certification timeline a little bit later. SkyDrive, and again, you heard me say this earlier, our focus markets are tourism, sightseeing, getting into medical services, the first responder pieces of getting a doctor to a rural area, getting a doctor to a difficult place for road traffic to get to. And then going into the intra-city connection and going from choke points within cities, moving towards corridors for downtown to airport. This is where we believe we're going to be able to evolve in the next 10 years. And from an industry perspective, from a regulatory perspective. And so these are really what the focus is going to be. Now, as we continue to see improvements in battery cell density, as we see improvements in charging technologies, we will see some changes to the aircraft as well, but very much focused right now on those urban missions. Like I mentioned earlier, the problem statement from urban cities is going to be that this increasing population will drive pollution, leading to other solutions. And with that mindset as really the reason why SkyDrive exists, we continue to focus on that market. I alluded to it earlier and wanted to touch on this again. One of the things that SkyDrive has really done well, and it's a story that's not being told outside of Japan yet, and that's something about using existing electrification nodes so that we don't see a drastic drain on the grid. Now, as you look at that, these are just some of our select partners around Japan that we're working with them from a train station. If you see our sponsorship logo, you do see SkyDrive co-located with the train station at the vertiport there. That's interesting to me because this is a phenomenon that we see rising in the United States as well, with infrastructure going in to support rail. But how do we utilize that to support other nodes of transportation, other means of transportation? And this can be something that SkyDrive, that Japan, we can help evolve the market here as you start seeing additional infrastructure coming in and utilizing that for other modes of transportation. Within Osaka itself, we did that World Expo demonstration. What that led to was actual vertiport planning in Osaka. And as with other things in Japan, it is very conservative, but I like the approach here because what they're doing is connecting high traffic areas, tourist areas, Osaka Castle, for example, with other areas of Osaka, and starting with that vertiport network, supported by the government of Osaka as well as Japan, and then growing the vertiport network outside of that. We see that in Osaka, we see that in other places in Japan as well, but I think the Osaka vertiport network and the planning around that is one that is something that the rest of the world can learn from. From a certification perspective, we anticipate having our JCAB type certification by 2028, by the beginning of 2028, which leads to a couple months later from a TC validation perspective with FAA a couple months later, and then starting operations globally within 2028, by mid-2028. So that's our timeline. We do have the G1 issue papers from JCAB. We'll be continuing with the FAA certification as well from the information sharing from JCAB and FAA. That'll lead to the means of compliance here as well. So at this point, we're fully confident that we would be able to meet that 2028 timeframe for certification.
Richard Michael Beal. I am the Airport Fire Chief at Augusta Regional Airport Fire Department. Where I see the innovation exchange and all this discussion about UAS coming into play for us is the change in our market. since we're an airport fire department, and what we're going to see at the airport for risk to personnel, risk to people, the threat that we have, potential threats that we have, as they talked about in the last session, counter or even someone using it nefariously. But for the most part, from the public safety side of it, is if we're going to start transporting personnel in UASs, what type of risks do we have to deal with? When we deal with aircraft, we deal with crash charts that give us information about the aircraft.
Marilyn, please introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about what are you walking away from with today at the Exchange Forum?
I'm Marilyn Smith. I'm the David S. Lewis Professor of Aerospace Engineering and the Director of the Vertical Lift Research Center of Excellence at the Georgia Institute of Technology in Atlanta. I think the biggest thing that I took away today is the excitement and the willing of people to share and work together to try to improve the economic development of the state of Georgia and the surrounding states, as well as to, ensure that we are a big player in the whole UAV and the advanced air mobility arenas.
Actually, and you're right, you really hinted on 2 points right here. It's obvious that we need to continue talking more, and right now we're seeing a trend that goes in the opposite direction. So we need to talk more, and of course we need to make sure that the economic model can support all of these lofty goals, right?
Yeah. And that's where working together comes into play. There's no need to reinvent the wheel. If somebody else already has a technology or already has done research or development in a certain area, we need to use those and try to improve what we're doing. I was talking to Georgia Power about potentially them using some of the research we've developed at Georgia Tech. And of course, because it was developed under government funding, it is free to the United States people. So that is a great interaction that I hope will pan out.
Tell us a little bit about the camp this summer. You and the Augusta Airport have come up with a really intelligent solution to bring in this new generation of, hopefully, will be AAM people who will work in AAM.
Well, it's not me. It's one of my colleagues, Dr. Kelly Grinling. She is amazing. I'm involved more on a little bit of the monetary and support side of the house. But yes, indeed, because I see so many students coming in, when you're in the cities, you're in Atlanta, for example, and you see Georgia Tech and you see all the technology that goes on, it's easy to get involved. But a lot of these students that are in more rural areas, they do not have those opportunities, and they don't have parents and other role models to help them. So this is an opportunity, we hope, to show them of all the opportunities, not just going to Georgia Tech to be an aerospace engineer, but also all the other opportunities, working in manufacturing, working in operations, maybe working in maintenance. All of those things are very key and very important. And we want to look at the entire population and to see how we can help anyone invested in or interested in STEM to get involved.
Yeah, and you know what? Actually, that's one of the things I want to bring you back on the podcast again to talk about MRO. We really don't talk about that much. There's so many things we need to talk about. Where can people find out more about those camps that you will be having this summer? That'll get edited, or we'll keep it as a blooper.
At Georgia Tech, if you go to the aerospace engineering, or actually just Google STEP, STEP, and Georgia Tech summer camps, and it'll take you all the way directly to the links, how to enroll, what's involved. We have different opportunities at different camps.
Perfect. Thank you, Marilyn, for coming back again, and then we'll see you soon again on The Ways We Move.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Diane Johnston. I work with the Augusta Regional Airport as the Innovation and Business Development Manager. We're here at the Hyatt downtown Augusta. We're talking about some of the new aerospace technologies, kind of focused on UAS, eVTOL type of stuff. And we were proud just recently to partner with Georgia Tech on some summer camp options for some of the students. We obviously feel like that future labor force is a big issue. And it's something that we want to focus on and make sure that we're starting to prepare for the future.
One thing I love about this event is that you have very high level OEMs, but all the way down to drone manufacturers, component manufacturers. How do you do it, pulling all of these extremes together in one day?
Well, I have to say, I have this great right-hand man in Greg Larson, and he's fearless in reaching out to people. But this is our 7th year, so we have a little bit of a reputation, and we've had people come to us to ask if they could speak at our events. And so we just like to make sure it's a wide range so that we start thinking about everything that we're going to need to start incorporating these technologies into our everyday lives.
So how is this today? How is it going?
I think it's going great. We've had a good turnout. This is a new location for us. We like to kind of spread it around, but this is a very nice location. We've been thrilled. You can see just about everywhere around Augusta from the 8th floor here. And they've been great to work with. And we've had a lot of good feedback from the participants and the attendees.
Oh, it's one of my favorite events. It's also the very first event I saw maybe about 4 or 5 years ago where we had EMS, we had police, we had sheriff, we have even military. And you guys have always done a great job at including everyone. So thank you again, Diane.
Thank you. I think we feel it's important to make sure everybody gets in the room together because we can all kind of network. We can feed off of ideas that one has that maybe the other hasn't thought to, or how they can partner to make things better. So we like to have a wide variety, diverse group of people here.
Fantastic. Thank Diane.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Nadine Auda. I'm the co-founder of Rune Aero. And at Rune, we are building the next generation cargo aircraft that's specifically built for the middle mile cargo mission. We're doing that specifically to improve the performance while reducing operating costs. I was here at the Innovation Exchange today to talk about the work that we've done over the past year to showcase our first generation test article and to talk and mingle with like-minded people who want Georgia to become the new center for advanced air mobility innovation. So I was very excited to be here. Great people, great vibe, and a small community of like-minded people.
Excellent. What are you walking away from with today after this whole beautiful forum?
That we are not alone. There's an entire ecosystem of people that are trying to solve the hard problems of this industry, and they're willing to partner and work together for us to find the right solutions to get this market to reality.
Excellent. And I'm assuming we'll see you very soon on The Ways We Move.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you.